The Wellness Witch.
I bet you're wondering, where did I even come from? So, in this episode, I want to give you my background story on how I became the Wellness Witch. Well, my wellness journey really started getting going back in 2019 after years of neglect and abuse to my mind, body, and spirit. I grew up with behavioral issues like bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, and untreated ADHD. I was addicted to sugar and caffeine at such a young age, which led to
You're also addicted to caffeine?
I am.
Yeah.
I am very addicted, actually.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
You're sipping on these energy drinks all the time.
Yep. It's horrible.
I was addicted to nicotine, man. I quit smoking a few years ago, but I was sucking on these vapes all the time.
Yeah, it's horrible. And candy, too. There's just something about this being a sweet tooth. And maybe it's because of a young age, just getting addicted to then. I don't know. But yeah, it's hard to quit.
Me too. Candy and chocolate, man. I was addicted to chocolate. That was, man. It was
Well, you're coming from the Germantown. That's the home of chocolates and candy in
yeah.
general. You guys got the Harpo gummy bears. They're my favorite.
Oh yeah. She looks great, man, with all these tattoos and stuff. It's awesome. Awesome tattoos
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It's super sick.
to substance abuse later in my life, but that was still also a very young age that I had no business touching these things. So, on top of that, the foods I consumed were causing so much inflammation.
She said substance abuse. There's
Drugs.
so many young people are into substance abuse. It's crazy. Why is that? What's happening?
Society. There's different reasons why people indulge in certain drugs. I think like the heroin users are the most depressing ones. The opiates, the downer drugs. The people who are all about the upbeat drugs or just want to have a good time, it seems like. But again, just the fine lines of the dangers of drugs nowadays because of fentanyl and other shit that's cut up with on the street. So
Yeah.
that's why I think they should legalize. I think there's one state here in America where they legalized a lot of things where you can get almost anything at the pharmaceuticals. Is I think Oregon, where Luna's from.
There's some crazy drugs out there too. When I was young, I mean, we drank a lot. Horace, that age, 17, 18, 19. We were allowed to start drinking at the age of 16 here in Germany. You you have to wait
Hmm.
until you're 21 over there, but we could drink beer and stuff and wine, shit like that when you're 16 here, and you could start smoking when you're 16 here in Germany. So
Wow.
of course we did back then. You could go to a discotheque when you were 16. We drank a lot back then, and we smoked some pot, man. I never got in contact with really hard drugs. I was a little bit shocked. I remember when I think I was 17 or 18. My best friend, he popped some pills in the discotheque, and I said, "What's that?" And he said, "It's ecstasy. You should try it." And I said, "No, man, I'm not trying that shit." That was crazy. This was crazy for me to watch. It destroyed my world a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, later on, I saw friends completely getting fucked up on meth, for example. That was
Yeah.
crazy to watch, man. That was really crazy to watch.
In my body. Just being alive was painful, so I was always trying to numb myself some way or another. My whole life, I've been rejected from friend groups. I've had a lot of crazy falling outs with friends that just they weren't fair. They didn't make sense. I wasn't a perfect person growing up either, though. But I really didn't understand when this was all happening at such a very young age. All of these things had such a negative impact on me and the growth of my brain. So I was actually in and out of court, jail cells, psych wards from ages
Yeah, she's a bad girl, man. She was in and out of jail cells. It's crazy, man. We need to ask her about that.
24. But here I am as a 31-year-old woman, thriving and making my wildest dreams come true. So I was living in Chicago from 2012 to 2017. I was 25 years old in November of 2017, and everything in my life was falling apart. I was a mess. I didn't know what my next move was going to be. And then suddenly I started seeing patterns and numbers everywhere, like 1111, 1113, 222, 444. And I started researching these, and
You're nodding. I was about to ask you, did you experience it too? Because I did, man.
Well, I know you didn't. I was just relating because I know you did. And the fact that she said, did she say her birthday was November 17th? That's my birthday. I'm gonna bring that up if that's true.
I saw there was a time when I saw the same number all the time, man. It was the 93 and the 39.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah.
It was
And you
always
have that tattooed on you.
yeah, the tattoo is a different meaning, but yeah, it was the 93 and the 39. I was looking at my cell phone and the battery said 93%. And
Oh.
later that day, I was looking at my cell phone and the battery had 39%. So cars passing by and the license plate says 93 or 39. I was looking at my wristwatch. It said 39,
Wow.
239, stuff like that. And it was all the time, and I was thinking, man, what does he want to tell me?
they brought me so much guidance to my life. I started believing in the universe a little more and felt a connection to the universe. And I really needed it at that time because I was so lost. And then I started seeing symbols everywhere I went, and I won't get too into that. I'll save it for the autobiography. But something told me that I needed to move out of Chicago, back home with my mom, and just start over on everything because I had pretty much lost everything in Chicago.
I don't know shit about Chicago. I only know movies, and in those movies, Chicago is always a bad place to live. Are there good spots in Chicago too? You know that?
I'm guessing there are like rich neighborhoods. And a lot of people live outside of Chicago. That's more like the rich neighborhood because inside of Chicago is really dirty. You know, when I go through Chicago downtown, it took like 3.5 hours sitting in traffic to get like going into this city of skyscrapers. And it kind of wigs me out. I don't know if you've ever been to like a town that has a shit ton of skyscrapers that just look like
Yeah.
that makes you feel like a little ant. And you just feel like you can get crushed anytime, you know what I'm saying? And it was a cloudy day one time when I went there, and it was like the clouds are covering some of the skyscrapers, or just disappear into the clouds. It's just like, whoa, no. And for some reason, I get this weird, eerie feeling. Maybe because I just like I'm like a medium-sized city kid, maybe. I can like handle so much. Like
Yeah.
Milwaukee, maybe. Milwaukee has some skyscrapers, but like doesn't not the immensity like Chicago has, you know. And like especially New York. I can imagine what New York's like like concrete jungle, you know. I don't know.
I don't see me living in a town like that. I'm from a small village here with like I don't know 500 maybe 600 people at best. And I've been to a very big town here in Germany. I left the train station and immediately it started smelling like piss. And there was
Oh,
junkies lying around everywhere. Everything was so big, and those here in this village, you walk through the village, and everybody's saying hi. In the city, everybody's passing by, just passing by, looking at the, staring at the floor. It's crazy, man. I don't know. I couldn't live in a big town like that. No.
no,
Including my
no.
mind. So I did. It was not easy moving back, but I'm glad I had the option because not everyone can move back in with their parents and get back on their feet. So before I moved back home with my mom, I started getting bumps all over my body and they were bruising me. And I remember thinking to myself, this is it. You know, I ruined my body. There's no going back. I'm going to die, I thought. So I went and saw a doctor when I moved back
Mhm.
up north, and they couldn't find anything. They sent me out of there with no diagnosis, nothing. And luckily, they shrunk and went away. But anything would have been nice besides nothing. So the first year moving back, it was rough. I was not taking care of myself. I would be at the local dive bar every night, drinking alcohol, eating fried food. I didn't look good. I didn't feel good. I was a mess. And then one night in October 2018, I went to a music festival by myself because I didn't really have any friends. And that's where I found my tribe of friends that cared about me, and they really helped give me guidance. And one of the greatest things that they introduced me to was acupuncture. I went there for all the inflammation going on in my body because it was everywhere. And we found out that everything was going wrong in my body and I needed to change my ways instantly. Otherwise, I would be living with diseases very near in the future for the rest of my life.
Have you had an acupuncture therapy on you?
I have not. I'm very curious about it, but again, I just I'm hesitant to at the same time. I don't know. I mean, I'm not afraid of needles, but do you have to be somewhat of a believer into some of this stuff, or does it medically? Obviously, medically is proven to work in a sense. I heard animals too can get acupuncture. Last time I was at the veterinarian, talking about my cat having arthritis in her kneecaps and her back knees. They said they could treat it with acupuncture, and I was like, "What? They could do acupuncture for cats and other animals and stuff too." I find that amazing.
Do you have to tranquilize the cat to give her the therapy? Because
Yeah, you would think so.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
love to have an acupuncture therapy on myself before for my back pain, something like that. I don't know if it works, but I would try it definitely. Yeah. Hmm.
a little British bulldog.
Yeah, for my bulldog. Yeah. To calm him down a little bit. They give Rocky a little acupuncture therapy.
That'd be
No,
awesome.
he's a
He's a
good boy.
cute dog. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
And no one wants that, do they? I don't. So my doctor started giving me answers and guidance with nutrition, supplements to take, how to conserve my energy and feel good and alive. And these things started to work. I started seeing the results. I was eating real food. I was getting IVs. I was reading all my self care books. I started journaling daily. Um, I was just feeling so much better and happier. I dropped unnecessary weight from eating real food versus processed or fried food. And then I started getting in touch with my inner child again. I finally bought a camera that I talked about getting for almost a decade. I joined a go-go dancing team. I started my candle business back up. I started modeling. I started my vocal, piano, and music production lessons. It's been so much fun.
Do you take care of yourself when it comes to food?
No. I think a lot of people would frown upon what I eat. And you know what? The only things I do try to do healthy is take vitamin gummies in the morning. I take the ones that help your immune system and calcium, and I even started taking ones for stress. That helps. And so I started taking mushroom gummies too, the turkey tail and the lion's mane, just to help my brain a little bit more, just kind of focus. And again, doing the podcast too has been helping me therapeutically. Just keep my mind busy because I do sit here alone. I know how this girl feels,
Yeah,
going through her own shit too. No, and again, awesome.
I can relate to a lot of stuff she said. Yeah, that's true. Me too. Yeah.
Mhm.
You,
Do you eat healthy?
I'm guessing so because I quit eating sweets. I don't eat chocolate anymore. I don't eat gummy bears stuff. I don't eat no processed sugar stuff like that. I don't eat bread anymore. I
Oh,
stopped eating bread. Basically, the only meat I'm eating is fish. I'm eating fish. That's the only meat I consume. Fish, vegetables. I eat a lot of grapes,
you ever
sweet.
had the cotton candy grapes? You should look that up. It's on Google. It's called cotton candy grapes, and it tastes just like cotton candy. It
Oh,
is the most sweet grape, like the most. 'Cause there's a different different kind of grapes out there. There's green, there's the classic purple grapes. But yeah, this one's a green grape, but it's so sweet that it tastes just like candy. That's why you if you had this grape, you'd probably just be your favorite because it's like the mix of candy and fruit at the same time.
Ah.
Yeah, look it up on Google. I'm sure maybe one of your Whole Foods, the
Yeah.
ones that have like the organic foods.
Thanks for the tip. I'm gonna look it up for sure.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was climbing my way up this mountain, and then came winter 2022 into winter 2023, and I felt like I had just been shoved off this mountain I was climbing, completely unwarranted. All these bad things out of my control started happening. Like my car broke down, my iPad got stolen.
What's with your car? You had an accident. Somebody ran into your car and it got destroyed a little bit. Your bumper got lost, something like that. And did they find this guy? And did you get?
No, they did not find this guy, sadly. And it was over $3,000 worth of damage. And my awesome colleague Daniel wanted to shoot it with a laser gun and see what happened to it. But no, yeah, unfortunately, they didn't catch the guy. But no, I'm glad everything is fixed and it looks brand new because I had some other damage to it that didn't get damaged from the accident that like I wish I could have got fixed. And it got fixed during that whole spiel.
Yeah. If we ever should get rich on podcasting, we gonna track this motherfucker down for sure.
Yeah, right. Wear
Power
ski mask.
outage
Yeah.
completely fried the hard drive on my iMac, and I was literally in the process of transferring all my files onto a hard drive, an external one. I kept chipping my teeth. I almost got carjacked. It was just
Jeez.
so many awful things just back to back to back. And I was struggling to make ends meet. I was putting all of my energy into working and trying to stay afloat, and I was struggling, and it was really getting to my head. I was really depressed. I was trying not to play the victim role too much though, because at the same time, I still had a roof over my head and I still had food in my stomach, so things can't be that bad after all. You know what they say, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. So once again, I was trying not to be the victim of my life and instead be the creator. I would express my gratitude for every small thing in my journal every morning. So then I made the decision to quit drinking alcohol because it wasn't making me feel any better about anything. And I started drinking mocktails instead. And in those mocktails were adaptogens, which are natural herbs or substances that help us adapt to stress and maintain balance, like our hormones. And I started to feel really good from these mocktails. So I started doing more research on these adaptogens that are in them, and it's a lot of herbs. And then that led me to witchcraft. I learned about how these herbs resonate with different energies, and it all made sense because everything has a frequency and everything is energy. This world is full of magic.
I agree.
I knew my mission was to raise my vibration because my self-doubt was just sabotaging my dreams at this point, and I couldn't have these thoughts anymore. So the next thing you know, I'm studying witchcraft. I'm ordering spell bath and essential oil blends. I order my own collection of herbs and crystals, which you saw a little of in my first episode. I was using these tools to help manifest. I bought a book on manifestation, and one day I was like, I'm gonna practice this. I wanted to win a raffle that I had been entering for a year, and I hadn't entered it in a couple weeks because I had this negative mindset. I said to myself, oh, I never win. What are the chances? So I practiced what this book was teaching, and I journal that I will win the raffle today. I will win the raffle today. I will win the raffle today. And I went to work and I signed into the raffle. I put 3 hearts, 3 stars by my name, and next thing you know, they're calling my name because I won the raffle. And it's
I gotta try that next time I'm going to the casino, man.
Yeah. You know what? Jim Carrey actually talked about like manifesting your own destiny and your own. He said he went to some Catholic school and he was saying his teacher came up to him and was like, you know, every morning I wish or I pray to God for the things I want and it happens for me. It does. And he's like, you could do the same thing for yourself. And he says, yeah, right. He started praying for a bike, and then like a week later, right in the living room was a brand new bike. With like his parents didn't give him much explanation why, or no, I think his friend put his name in for a raffle,
Hmm.
for the bike, and then won the bike in this raffle. The things that you kind of like, you steer your destiny to. Even I see that with myself, like with like how this hobby here that I have, how I'm steering it and I get to kind of like, you know, like I never thought it's going as far as it has gone and like is going, and still people are interested and want to contact me and talk to us. Meet like it made me meet you or meet you in a sense. Again, just so much cool like things happen in the path of like the things I focus on. And same with you. Like you have your dreams and your goals and you put your energy and you kind of see you kind of make your own dreams happen, like the independentness of I don't know. I think it's just so beautiful that like you can do that. You can manifest your own dreams if you put your energy and time into it. You can steer whatever which way.
Yes.
I don't know.
You're absolutely right. It's about manifestation. With the podcast, it's a good example. You're absolutely right. My German podcast project, I wanted it so bad that I every thought was about the podcast back then when I started, and at some point it just took off, man. And now I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers and
Yeah, it's
1,000 on
still growing.
Spotify. That's crazy. Yeah, it's so
Because
many.
when I met you, it was like almost 8,000. You know, that's
Yeah,
only a year ago. Like you got like again 2,000 subscribers or more. Yeah, that's hot, dude.
that's crazy, man. And the same can happen with this podcast. So you're on fire for the podcast, man. I love that.
Yeah, again, the energy and the time that I have, and again, this is my new love that I found, and you helped me find this new love. Again, I never thought I could do this until you're like, yeah, you could definitely do this. People will listen to you. Like, you have interesting stories, and the fact that I do have a collection of Colonel Wendell Stevens photographs definitely helps. In a sense, yeah, I just can't be some Joe Schmo talking some shit. But no, that have the love for the UFO subject, even here in my own state, just because it has such a treasure trove full of shit here. But yeah, and then finding out other people like her here in Wisconsin too that has a love for UFOs and then the weird shit too. And yeah, like-minded people that she's trying to find too, and people from all around the world. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow's talk too. So with
Yeah,
you and me, we haven't done one in a while together. So I'm
yeah, that's
excited.
true. That's true.
Bucket of money, which that was exciting because it was a rough winter. From this, I just wanted to learn so much more about the universe, witchcraft, quantum physics,
Oh
everything.
yeah.
And this is all such a phenomenon with me, like astrology, numerology, tarot. I love it all. It's so fascinating with how spot on it is. So I wanted to get the word out to everyone, and I'm like, how do I do this? Because I'm shadow banned on everything. My posts don't reach even my closest friends. It's really frustrating to want to get your word out, but you feel like you're stuck behind a brick wall. So I had a friend come into town, and before we even start talking about what was going on in my life, she tells me, she goes, you should really brand yourself and do OFTV. And I was like, girl, I literally just wanted to brand myself into the Wellness Witch earlier. I'm like, this is perfect. So here we are. I feel like I have fallen in love with life all over again. I feel so inspired, so much happier, so much more confident. It feels nice to have an audience that's actually listening, and I'm actually changing lives. It feels good. It doesn't resonate with everyone, but those that do, it's really special to me, and I'm happy to be here. And thank you for tuning in once again to the Wellness Witch channel. Don't forget to sub.
That was interesting, man. I liked how she changed her life for the better. She went through so much shit in her life. It's crazy where she's at right now. That's awesome. I'm
Yeah,
happy for her.
yeah. And again, she's a gorgeous girl. And she's really upbeat. She makes even funny content. I just send you some of the funny stuff that she makes. Very enthusiastic. And I thought she'd be a good asset to our podcast.